Welcome to the stage, the mastermind behind that, the one and only Mark Hudson. Mark, how did you get Bill Clinton to do that with you?
It's the weird part about it was you have to see the video like 3 times to see everybody that's in it. Nick Mason from Pink Floyd, President Clinton. And I shot everybody too. Ozzy, Steven Tyler, Dave Grohl, Alanis Morissette, Ron Jeremy, don't even ask. I got all these people to come and do the video, and I shot it myself. And
you what yourself?
I shot it myself, and I did, like I was all the people. Obviously, me on the toilet was oversharing, I know. But I'll make it up to you, I promise. Yes, darling?
Okay, no, I'm very pleased to hear that. Now, this was recently done, this video, but it all relates to an album that you have?
Yeah, you know what, it's an interesting thing because, I over the period of my life, being a Hudson brother and riding with my brothers and stuff, and then the rest of my career was always working with other people. Either Ringo, which I loved, and Ozzy and Aerosmith and Hanson. I worked with all of these people that I can now imitate. You should hear it. My share is great. Oh, Mark here. I'm working on it. And I decided that it was time for me to talk about my peace and love and my broken heart and my happy and my sad. So I decided to just do an album kind of like, for myself. And, consequently, guest star wise, Ringo's playing drums on the Hudson Brothers song, So You Are a Star. Ringo's playing drums, Steven Tyler singing background on one. And then Harry Nilsson. See, some of the stuff is really old and I transferred it over. The Harry Nilsson, for those kids that don't know, it's Can't Live If Living. Yeah, and a friend of the Beatles. And I produced his last album before he passed away. And one day I was in there writing the song that's on my record and I'm singing it and Harry's talking, like, yeah, maybe I should do it, yeah, I want to be a Beatle. And I looked and said, Harry, I'm trying to sing. And he takes a puff from his cigarette and goes, consider it background vocals. And when he said that, it was so great. And he wasn't singing, he's talking. So when you hear this one cut on the record, if you put it on headphones, you hear Harry Nilsson speaking, but I gave him a background credit for it.
Absolutely so.
And so that's what I figured, that's what I'm doing. I'm here to
You're here, as John Lennon once said, in his own right.
In my own, yeah, I definitely am.
Absolutely.
In my own. Yeah.
And what took you so long, dear?
Yes.
The title of this opus is?
It's called The Artist. In fact, after I'm done with this, I go and I sign and I sell and I do all that sort of thing. And there's a picture that I put under the album. I was in a grocery. I'm a diabetic, and I'm not supposed to have sugar and all that. And I was in a store with my brother Brett, and we were walking in, and all of a sudden I saw that they had sugar-free Nestle's Quick. And it was like really late at night, and I'm standing there and I see it, and I go, Brett, look, Nestle's Quick. And when I did that, my pants fell down. And I don't know why, but they went down, and Brett took his phone and went, and took a picture of me. And if you open up the album and you see it, you see me standing there with Nestle's Quick in a store with humans, and my pants are...
Does this come with a magnifying glass?
Oh, you hurt me. You hurt me with your words, you bastard.
But now, I'm so pleased to hear about this CD, and you'll be selling and signing that after...
Right after this, I'm out of the tables.
That's excellent. Now, with all that, I mean, you also continue to work with Steve Tyler. I see that you work with Steve.
I do. He's one of my dearest friends, and the whole Aerosmith is broken up it's not true. They're back together. They're doing a tour of Europe. They're doing a tour. So all of that's great. It's a weird thing because the older we get and we start losing our comrades and stuff, we just have to be a bit more careful. And so he had to do some work to be more careful. And now he's back with a vengeance. And I'm sure. I always tell the story. Because I wrote "Living on the Edge" for Aerosmith. And if I'll just do like one little piece of something just to make a point. Is this on?
You're always on, Mark.
No. You hearing it out there? Okay, good. So I get this opportunity to work with Aerosmith, and I learned all my heavy stuff and blah, 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 and I thought, well, this is going to be great. And then consequently, they fly me to Boston, where the boys live, and I go downstairs, and there's Joe Perry standing there with like a waxed chest and stuffed pants and a vest and black hair, and he looked like a rock god. Now, I don't know, those of you who know me, you know that I can talk to shrubbery or a bench. I don't need anyone to carry a conversation, but this was difficult because he's so incredibly shy. So, hey, Joe, how's it going? God, I love your studio. Yeah. Well, how about those Red Sox? You think they'll ever beat the Yankees? No. Well, yeah, boy, I love that clam chowder. Yeah. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is like kidney surgery. This is going to be, and then all of a sudden I hear a car screech. Pulls up, the door opens, and there he was standing with a toy airplane, childbearing lips, going. Finally, someone like me. And I did all my Aerosmith stuff. And the interesting thing, and it comes back to a Beatles story because it makes sense. My whole reason for doing anything was always John Lennon. To me, his spirit lives through me. Everything that he tried to say, I love. And I was so blessed to get to know him with my brothers during that time period. And so I played all my Aerosmith stuff, and they were going, yeah, that's really good. And then Steven Tyler had the insight to go, yeah, but what would you bring to the table if you were in Aerosmith? And I went, man. And it scared me because I went there ready with all my homework, but I didn't know what to do. So the first thing that happened is, the spirit of John goes, do what you do best, you bastard. And I went, oh, well, I have this, and I didn't like the songs of the era were very strange. Let's hear it for the boys. Everyone's like humping. And nobody was saying anything of any value. There was no instant karma. There was no give peace a chance and imagine. And I'm always thinking of John in my heart, in my head. So I said, well, I got this thing, and I figured I'm taking a chance. Either they're going to throw me out, or he's going to like this. So I kind of played this thing, and I remember when I wrote it, I was always thinking of John, to be honest. So I said, well, what do you think of this? Something wrong with the world today. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong with our eyes. Just like John, he went, stop! And I swear to God, I've never seen a mouth that big in my life. I know, I mean, there was like a German family living on his tongue. And I was like staring at it, like, what the hell is that? And he goes, John Lennon's in the room. John Lennon's in the room. John Lennon's in the room. Scaring the poop. And he goes, what else, man? What else? And then I said, well, I was worried about the consciousness of the We're seeing things in a different way, and God knows it ain't his. It sure ain't no surprise, like John would have done. Living on the edge. He goes crazy. So now I'm thinking, either he's really liking this or he has gas. I couldn't figure out. Something was happening. Am I okay?
You're fine.
Okay, I just want to check. I'm almost done. Okay, so.
No, you're not.
No, I am. You see, whenever Martin gives me the look of doom, like, Mark, you're overstepping the boundaries, you bastard, Mark.
You never do that.
No.
You never overstep. You leap wide over
yes,
the
I certainly do. And so then I'm playing this, and I could see him loving it. And I also knew that Steven as well was a Beatle freak. Another good sign. And so, yeah, and he is too, big time. And then he goes, you gotta have a bridge, man. You gotta have a life that's very short, man. You gotta have one. And once again, there it was. And I swear to God, I asked, and this is gonna sound dramatic, but it is the truth. I'm playing the Living on the Edge, Living on the Edge, playing a song. And he goes, you gotta have a bridge. And I'm strumming, and I didn't have a bridge. I didn't, like nothing was there. I was vapor, I was void, I was moist, I was scared, nothing. And I kind of said in a brief nanosecond, come on, John, give me one. Come on, John, give me one. And it just by an act of God and maybe a little flick from John, I went into, tell me what you think about the situation, complications, aggravations, again to you, young cow. And Steven went, and at that point, parts of him grew that I can't mention in front of the children. And that was it. And from that point on, it was sort of like, wow, every part of me that loved the Beatles, every part of me that wanted to be John Lennon came out and it connected to someone else. And the next thing you know is Aerosmith cutting that song, it becoming a hit, it winning a Grammy. And then people started wanting to work with me, and I didn't know why. Because at that point I'd written a song so long ago that I was frightened. Just like that, but Beatle related. Next call is Ozzy Osbourne. They went, you want to work with Ozzy? Well, no, he eats bats and he's kind of a scary guy. He goes, no. He's not like, he wants to work with you. I said, I kind of like more, Beatle-y stuff. I don't think so. Well, I didn't know that Ozzy was also a Beatle freak. So I'm in Los Angeles, sleeping in my room, and all of a sudden my phone rings at 5:30 in the morning. I pick it up. Hello? Hello, Mom? Yeah? It's me, Ozzy Osbourne. It's Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne. And I'm thinking, oh man, someone gave him my phone number. Damn. But I had to be polite, because that's my job as a songwriter. So I go, hey Ozzy, how's it going? Great, Mark. I love that record you did on the edge of Aerosmith. It's great, man. I thought, well, thank you. Very Beatle-y. I went, oh yeah, well, I'm kind of a Beatle freak. Mark, so am I. I went, oh good. Now this is the truth. He goes, I want to work with you. And that's when fear entered. Like, I don't like Satan. I don't want to eat bats. It's just not where my heart is. And he goes, no, Mark, it's not what you think. Because of that record that you've done, he goes, I want to do a record. Ozzy does such a pepper. 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 And I swear to God, I'd still be on the phone with him if I wouldn't have interrupted him. Oh, such a pepper. Oh, such a pepper. But that's when I heard something in his voice that I knew that he was one of us. Now, consequently, when the Queen's Jubilee, Ozzy played, and Paul McCartney was there too. And to this day, he has a picture of him and Paul in his living room in like a $40,000 gold frame. Mom, a picture of me and Paul. Yeah. Thank you, Ozzy. That's right. So, we're everywhere. We are everywhere. Know that, you guys.
Now,
Yeah.
One's always tempted to hear new stories, but also relive some old stories, especially because there's some folks that haven't who are new here and have not necessarily heard stories you've shared. There's one particular story that I think speaks such volumes to the friendly rivalry and the sibling little simmering things that happen between the Beatles, just like any family. And that was when you were in the studio and a little dispute arose between Paul and Ringo over the origin of the headshake. So tell that story, because that's a lovely story.
For those of you that already heard it, just rattle your jewelry. I was doing the Vertical Man album with Ringo, and he goes, come on, Mark, we're going down to Paul's. And the worst part about it was I'm a fan just like you guys. But because I was Ringo's producer, I had to be cool. Like, all right, Ringo, we're going to Paul's. But as soon as I would turn away, I'd go, oh my God, I'm going to Paul's! And then I'd have to come back and be, yes, Ringo, let's go see Paul. And be that other guy. So Ringo's, yeah, I'll pick you up, Ma. You'll stay in the Muse house, which was the Muse house where you see pictures of John and Paul with the dog Martha, and they wrote all the songs there behind Harrods. So Ringo sets me up. I go in there, and I'm in the apartment. And it was like Alice in Wonderland. I'm walking around and see postcards from John and the first German gold record. And I just can't believe that I'm in this place. So I go to the bedroom, open the doors, and there was this bed. 4-post wooden bed with owls and moons and stars and like a purpley blue. And I jump on it like Goldilocks. Oh yeah, this is great. Yeah, great. I figure I got to call my brother Brett, who was the bass player in the Hudson Brothers. And I figured, I got to tell him where I'm going tomorrow just to screw with his head. So I call America. It was real early in the morning. And when you're Italian and you get a phone call anytime before 8 in the morning, someone's just died or been arrested in your family. And yes, you guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, absolutely, you mamalukes. And so I ring the phone. It answers Brett with the typewriter. What doing, Eric? Did you die? Are you in bed? No, Brett, I'm okay. You're in jail? No, I'm fine. Brett, you're never going to believe where I am. Where are you? I'm in Ringo's bed. And he goes, with Ringo? No, because he's such a dork. And no, I'm not. No, I get to spend the night here because tomorrow we're going somewhere else. And he goes, well, where's that? And I went, Paul McCartney's. Gotta go. And you hear, no! And I hang up on his butt. So we go down to the studio, and there I am in Paul's place. And he's going to play bass on the song, and he's going to sing. And all my life, whenever I sang background, I had to fantasize that I was John and Brett was Paul, because Brett looked like Paul with bigger lips. And I thought, well, but this time, I'm actually going to be singing with Paul McCartney. And so we're in the studio, and Jeff Emmerich is the engineer. And once again, I had to go outside and catch my breath because of my experience. So I walk in, and Paul realizes, bless his heart, that I'm a Beatle fan. He goes, I can tell you're a Beatle man. And well, yeah, I really am. He goes, let me give you a tour. And he started thumbing me, like, whoa, 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 whoa. And so he walked me around, and he showed me the Mellotron that was Strawberry Fields. And he showed me the bells that were in Penny Lane. And I just couldn't believe that this was happening to me. And you know, Ringo's a Beatle. He was there for the first time, so it's not impressive to him. But I'm going, thank God I was wearing brown pants, because every part of me was... I'll apologize for that later, I'm sure.
No, you won't.
No, I won't. And so he goes, oh, come on, Marley, let's learn the song. And he's thumbing, and I go, okay. And then he says, he has his Hofner bass on. And I believe that greatness can be transferred just by being next to it. And so, you know, there was that bass, and he goes, hey man, use the chords. And he gives me John's Gibson guitar, and I'm standing there like this, and Paul and I are going through the chord chart, and I see Ringo in the booth, and I'm going, like, with my mouth up to the side, I'm going, take a picture. Take a picture, Ringo. Take a picture now, Ringo. Take a damn picture, Ringo. And he's sitting there with his arms folded, just kind of shaking his head like, nah, I'm not gonna have it. Just to make me crazy. But, you know, in my head, it was there. So we're singing this song, which is La-Di-Da. Joe Walsh playing guitar, and Paul and I are singing background. And it gets to one of those parts where, you know, Paul does one of those woo thing, and Paul goes like woo, and he's standing right next to me. Woo! And then Ringo's in the booth, and he starts shaking his head. Now here comes the cute part about being like a family. He goes, oh, sure, now you're shaking the head again, are you, Paulie? And I'm kind of looking around like, what the hell what is he talking about? And Paul goes, here he goes. Because it must be something that has followed them their entire career.
45 years.
Yeah, and he goes, oh yeah, sure. I'll tell you out there. And I see Ringo strutting out. And I always could tell by Ringo's walk which one showed how much angst was going on. There was the Ringo walk, and then there was the Abbey Road walk. And then you know in the cartoons when you see a bull and then it's always like this? That's like the pissed off walk. And he comes out, and Paul's like smiling, and he goes, oh yeah, there I was, Ringo the drummer in the back, and all you guys are twisting and shout, she loves you, yeah, yeah, woo, shaking your bloody heads, woo. He goes, but I was the one that invented it. And Paul goes, oh, come on, Ring. And they got into this thing because Ringo had to do it to get, he goes, I had to do it to get noticed. And then Paul said, yeah, but we did it, you know, twist and shout. And then he goes, he's been like this for 40 years. And once again, but you could see them, it was like Hard Day's Night with crow's feet. Because they were older, but because they were older, but the relationship was still exactly the same as you would want it to be. I can only say to you in closing, it was a day in my life that I will never forget. To be with the greatest drummer in the world and the greatest bass player and songwriter in the world. For me. Oh, no. I go to...
Okay.
Oh, I know what I wanted to do.
Yes.
I have something to show you. No, for those of you that know me, this will make sense. So here I am trying to sell my CD, The Artist. So even though that I'm, you know, colorful and looks like I've made out with a clown, I wanted to be serious about my record because the music on it is fantastic. So I'm out there selling this stuff, and I got posters of the album cover. Now, the bad news is that my brother Brett has the key to my studio in California. So I get here ready to sell my goods and be a sense, you know, most artists only cross their legs like this, by the way, because they look more intelligent as opposed to that. This, you're more of a poet. So I wanted to be like the poet and sell my record. And I get the cover, which some of you might be able to see, and I'm going, wow, he looks moody and dark and fine and groovy. And then my brother Brett snuck in my studio and pasted pictures of himself as Chucky Margolis from the Hudson Brothers show on the bottom of my poster. And you know, the scary thing is, I so want to kill him. And part of me wants to hug him for it, and then I want to murder him because it took away all of my... I guess this is what I really am, and this is a bunch of crap. That's the way that I'm probably doing.
What I would like to do is I would like to greet the genius artist who put together those little pictures at the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, the perpetrator himself, Brett Hudson!
You bastard.
There he is.
There it is. I would have done more posters, but I ran out of glue.
Yeah.
No, I applaud you for that creative graffiti, I think it was.
Thank you very much.
I think you got to be careful with that microphone. It looks like it's gonna slam you. I mean, remember when
Lucky me.
No, use my yeah. You see, now is that a good brother or what? Yeah. I hope it hits you in the head, you bastard. Yeah.
So,
Mark.
now, Brett, of course, before we go to music, one of the things that, Brett, you're here, we saw you earlier the day, some of us, but in a nutshell, you must tell us, you're here with a new film that you've...
Yes.
Tell us about the film.
I'm
quickly.
here with a new film with Chris Montez. My business partner and I, Bert Kearns, decided to put a documentary together. Chris had a phenomenal career, still does have a phenomenal career. Toured with the Beatles in '63. The first they opened for him. Had hit record after hit record. He's just cut a new Spanish album, which is phenomenal. So when it comes out, go get it. It's really good, and he's a good guy, and it's a great documentary, and I'm one hell of a movie maker.
Hey, wait. But you know, I found out something.
He didn't let me get my wife.
No, I found out something yesterday from Chris.
Uh-oh.
You know, like when the Beatles did the the round collar suits. Chris Montez, and tell me if I'm on crack.
You're on crack.
Okay, thank you. He had that first.
Yeah, it's actually really kind of cool. A tailor in Los Angeles told Chris that the latest thing in London, this was in 1963, was no collars. So Chris said, oh yeah, make me one. So he made him one. He went over to England and everybody had collars. So when they were touring, McCartney really liked that jacket and they took him to their tailor, which his name was...
Dougie Millings.
Who made clothes for everybody back then. And Paul said to Chris, do you mind if we make those suits? And Chris said, no, go ahead. You've seen it 1,000 times. The picture with the gray collarless suits came from Chris. It's really cool. And he still has the original jacket, which is awesome.
That's really cool. You know what else happened one time when Ringo and I were working in London, walking down the street, we went by Sotheby's, and Ringo looks in the window and goes, those are me pants. And I went, what? He goes, those are me pants from Magical Mystery Tour, those are me pants. And I went, oh, those are really, really cool. But it says being auctioned on Friday, starting bid 9 zillion pounds. He goes, I want my pants. And we went back to his flat, and I'm not lying, he called Mr. Sotheby, he goes, hello, Ringo Starr, I want my pants. And they went, well, you can bid them. He goes, I'm not going to bid for my bloody pants, they're my pants! And there was like an hour of him trying to get his pants back, which he didn't. Yeah, I know. And I was going to buy him for him if he paid me more, but it didn't work out. I kid.
Now, I don't think enough glory and appreciation has been given to Mark, having had the courage that he's had to live in the shadow of you and Bill being better looking. I mean, how does he deal? It's wonderful how he deals with it.
A lot of therapy. It's painful.
No, Mark is a really good-looking guy. If you're drunk and he's far away from you.
He must have worked that out.
We did. Martin and I get together and do routines. What are you talking about?
No, but you know what happened? The true story is the reason why I grew a mustache to begin with, because all of our childhood, you can tell that God is watching you. Hey. No. And my brother...
Wait. Why is he watching just me?
Well, he's watching you and Bill. He can't watch me anymore. I'm too much for him.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
So Brett would say to me, hey, Mark, have you seen your upper lip? And I went, yeah, I see it every morning. Yeah, I see my upper lip. He goes, that's the ugliest upper lip I've ever seen.
I swear to God. His upper lip was like, before he had the mustache, it was like it.
That is so
He thought he looked like Paul Newman, Alfred E. Newman, trust me.
No.
Yeah. Seriously.
No, because now and then you can't tell with the dark glasses, but when I was younger, before the SAG took over, I sort of had Paul Newman eyes, and people would say...
You had Phyllis Newman eyes, baby. You don't have Paul Newman eyes. What are you talking about?
Anyway, I grew the mustache because of my upper lip, and I haven't really seen it for a few decades.
Thank God.
Yeah. Thank God.
Now, seriously, Brett, what went on in the sort of household with the three of you there? Must have been a lot of competition, struggling, trying to get mum's attention and so on. How do you deal with it, all that fighting?
Honestly, Mark's going to tell a story which is a lie. I'll tell you that right now. He says, I was at home coloring. I was an artist. And Bill and Brett were jumping on the beds, and we broke the bed. And when my mom came home, she went upstairs, and she, being an Italian mother, she started swearing at us in Italian and said, who broke the bed? And Bill and I said, he did. Yeah. Which is what every kid would do.
Yeah, that was my life. What was when he used to, because my mom was known for her scream. I mean, like, whenever we would come home, I hope this story does not cross the line, but we were young, we were real close in age, and we were thieves. We used to go to the store and we would like steal fruit or whatever we could get away with. And my mom was known in the neighborhood for having all the shades would always be closed. It's an Italian thing. Brett said,
well, we're Italian, so for all you Italians out there, you don't want anybody looking in your house, which like anybody wants to look in, which is. So we grew up, seriously, we were raised like veal. We never saw light. I'm not kidding. No, there would be a knock at the door, and I'd go, oh, good. No, don't answer the door, you know who it is. And now when somebody knocks on my door, I run. It's like, what the hell, God, somebody's at the door.
So check this out. So my brothers and I go to the local store, and we see all this great fruit. And we go, no one's looking, let's take some fruit. So we actually took some fruit, but we stuffed it down our pants. So we actually looked like John Holmes. It was like just a horn of plenty like this. And
I didn't take any, Bill and Mark said.
You didn't need to take it.
Thank you, Mark.
So the policeman that knew my family, yeah, you guys are ganging up.
No, we're not.
I can take it.
Yeah.
So the policeman that we knew, Officer Tony, he was another Goomba. He sees us stealing and he grabs us. And he goes, come with me. And we think we're being arrested, but we're not. He just was taking us to our house. Walks up on the porch, knocks on the door. The curtains were closed. You see the one little curtain open up, and my mom sees it, and her famous scream was, sees us standing there with a cop. So she thinks we've been shot or something. Opens the door and goes, Tony, what did my boys do? Are they okay? Have they been shot? And he goes, no, Eleanor, not. They were at the store and they were stealing fruit. Now here's my mom, Cleopatra, Queen of Denial. She goes, how dare you say that about my sons? My sons would never steal anything, nothing. And he goes, well, Eleanor, and he points down to our crotches and you just see like this. And she goes, oh, and she goes, they're just tired. What?
Is that what happens when you're tired?
What? And even we were going, oh, come on, Mom. And she goes, they're tired. Go to sleep. All right. My brother Bill went off to Tony, want the fruit back? He went, no.
Now, time is short, but one thing I'm going to say, later on after Liverpool play their first part of the concert, we will have the pleasure of seeing you guys on stage together. And I know that tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock we have a great musicians forum and you're both going to be part of it.
Yep.
After this session you'll be signing outside, though you're going to wait for a few minutes because you're going to see no